everybody, it's time for another Mini Mondays, and today is another Patreon-sponsored Mini Mondays review of an animated pilot called The Modifiers. Now, this is a pilot that was pitched to Nickelodeon back in 2007, created by Lynn Naylor and Chris Riccardi. I think I'm saying that right. And it follows the story of a girl named Agent Zero, and that's Zero with an X because it's cooler like that, who's a member of an organization known as the Modifiers, who fights off the evil machinations of Baron Vile. So that's it, pretty much. There's really not much more to say about it. It's a very simplistic pilot. The style that it has is sort of like Butch Hartman by way of 90s Craig McCracken. It just has like that simplistic flat style of the older 90s cartoons, but with a little bit more thick, pronounced edges that Butch Hartman has. And I gotta say, I don't find it very appealing. It's technically a newer cartoon, it's 11 years old at this point, but I just find the art style really unappealing. It's like the new Rocky and Bullwinkle show that's being made, which, full disclosure, I do work for the crew for, but I find the art style very unappealing in that as well. Everything's all blotchy and flat. This one, I can see the spirit that they're trying to invoke, but I just don't find it very appealing on a personal level. You know, everything has that sort of gross tinge to it, sort of trying to ape the style of Ren and Stimpy a little bit, but, you know, it just kind of, ugh, it doesn't appeal to me. I don't find the story very engaging either. I couldn't see a concept like this having much mileage, to be honest. Now, Nickelodeon has greenlit some horrible shit in the past, like Fanboy and Chum Chum and Breadwinners and stuff. And true, those don't have much mileage either. But this one, I don't know, I just feel like it would be such an intense brick wall series if they actually went for some sort of narrative. And if not, what's the hook? Obviously, it never got picked up for a series, so I guess the people who were concerned didn't think it had much of a hook either, but as someone who evaluates pitches and pilots and stuff like that, I can say that there's no hook for this whatsoever. Agent Zero is not likable at all. She can, you know, she's a master of disguise, but she's just kind of a ditz the whole time, and she's like, smiley kind of thing, but it's not very interesting. And Baron Vile is like a comedic villain, sort of. I just don't see the appeal, to be honest. I mean, if you can find the appeal in the concept or the art style or both or anything like that, that's great. Based on what you're seeing here, I would say maybe it's for you to judge whether or not you think this would be a good idea. But, well, personally, I could say that I'm not super disappointed that it didn't get made into a series. I don't feel like we'd be missing out very much since this isn't made into a series. Yeah, I mean, there's really not much more to say about it than that. It's just kind of a simple idea that didn't make it very far, and that's pretty much it. I mean, I wish I had more to say about this, but since it's just more of a proof of concept than anything else, I just don't have much to say. I mean, it even ends on a cliffhanger that's obviously never going to be resolved because the pilot was never picked up. So, don't ever end your pilots on a cliffhanger. That's bad, because, you know, there's no guarantee it'll ever be picked up again, or picked up at all, so just don't do that. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say, is that the art style I find unappealing, the story I find boring, the characters I find meh, so I can't recommend this pilot, unfortunately. That isn't to say you shouldn't check it out if you feel like you might be interested in it, but personally, I would say it's not worth your time. That's all I have to say about that.